Yes, you didn't see it wrongly. My drone fell into water. The reason my drone fell into water is because when I turned it on, I didn't let the GPS lock correctly, and partly because the day is very cloudy, causing the GPS not being able to lock on time, overcompensate, and then it just crashed it into the wall nearby and just fell into the water. And the reason why I did it so, because usually when we are shooting, we are very short of time, and I will need to be capturing a very good shot at a very short amount of time. And happened to be that day, the pool party is some sort of like mermaid show. They only have around 30 minutes max for me to fly my drone. So basically I just fly my drone, and then this is what happened. This video is about what happened after the drone fell into the water. So if you're interested, please make sure you stay until the end of the video. Before that, let's roll my intro. So, first thing first, if you ever have your drone fell into the water, please make sure you pull out the battery straight away. There's no other best method for you to do that. Usually DJI drone have their own circuit protections. Whenever they touch the water, they will just like cut off, but please don't ever try to turn on the battery. Once you press it, gone, like totally gone. Okay, so usually after let's say unfortunately things happen, right? Your drone fell into water, you can go online and research, and most of the time they'll tell you that leave your drone for a few days without using it. Leave it in a cool and dry place, or under this hot sun, or even put inside a bowl of rice so that it can suck all the water inside. But then what happens for my case is that I take out the battery and I put under the sun for maybe like a few hours. After that, I use blower to blow out the water. After I blow for around one hour or 30 minutes, I thought, or maybe you thought, the drone would dry out. After that, I flicked my drone again. I found out that there's still water coming out from the drone. So I kind of like has a very less confidence on whether I should put the battery in and then power up. So what I did is that I go online and research, and I found out that some of the video, for example like iFix, they do the full breakdown of drone. Since I have some engineering knowledge, then I think that maybe I should just disassemble it out and properly clean it through, and hopefully they will save my drone. So mainly DJI drone, I could really commend DJI drone on this, is that they did a very good job in their design. They kind of like separate out every single important module. They modularize their designs so that easy for you to disassemble their drone. The good thing is that when your drone, some part of the module, for example like GPS, has spoiled, you can really like just change it out to GPS module. So this is what is good in the DJI design. I don't have other drone model to play around, so for me DJI has a very good design in this. And then the first thing you're going to remove is the gimbal. The gimbal is outside of the drones. Wherever water damage will happen, it won't happen in the gimbal. Some of the time it will happen in the lens of the gimbal, but it's kind of like very easy fix. You just put a toothpaste or whatever in front of on the lens, and then the water vapor will just go away. So the main interface port is where you have your USB connectors, you have your SD card connectors, bottom sensor. Once you open up the bottom part, you will see the board there. So what happened is that the drone fell into the pool, there will be a lot of white chlorine residue there. So what I do is that I clean it off to make sure that there's no longer any white residue. Main interface board, it will be connecting to the GPS module, where your front sensor is also included in front in the GPS module. So both of these module is very easy for you to clean. You just like clean it off. Try not to remove the shield, because when water damage happen, it don't go into the shield because of the pressure build up when the water surge in. Just clean around the interface board, and then make sure all the like capacitor or resistors don't have the residue in between them, because this will create a spark when the power surge happens. So just make sure that it's as clean as possible. How do I make sure it's clean? So I put it under a microscope and then to see whether there's a leftover residue. So basically I use isofrill to clean up the residue. It's a very long process. You don't even know how this will help your drone to recover, but what you can do is that you try your best to really clean it up, everything, to make sure there's no residue in between all these components, so that the electrical arc won't happen. So after cleaning the main interface board, I move on to the other side of the drone. The next thing I did is cleaning up the main processor board. This processor board is very easy for you to recognize, because it has heatsink and fan on it. So what I did is that I just pull off the heatsink and the fan. But please remember, you need extra thermal paste, thermal resistant 3M glue, so that after you pull it off, you can glue it back. The moment I do this video right now is that I found out that if you don't put enough thermal paste and the glue, what will happen is that the drone will tell you that you will have a thermal issue and then it won't fly. If you don't put your fan properly, you will hear a very loud fan noise. Still remember when the first time I buy this drone, I don't hear that fan noise, but now that I fix it, it's just not behaving like what it is. So moving on from the processor board, you just go to the GPS module. The GPS module is very easy to clean. Once you take out the drone casing, you will see the GPS module there. What I would recommend you to do is that near the connectors area, make sure you clean it off nicely, because what I know is that the copper spring is very fragile. I think once the residue build up and then the rust build in, it will just break, and then there will be no longer any connections between the GPS to your board. And that basically the main feature of the drone, right? And then once you open up every module, you will see that one module that you cannot open up without force. So what you should do is that don't open it up. Most of the time, that is the power supply interface board. And this power supply interface board, what I see is that they put an epoxy glue on it. When water surge in, the glue will protect all the components inside. They are waterproof. Basically what DJI do is that they put epoxy on the power supply interface board so that when the water surge in, their power supply is okay. Good job, DJI. So basically, after what I have done, I just like assemble it back. I still remember at that point of time, you really don't know whether your effort is going to worth it or not, whether the drone will survive the water damage or not. Whatever you are doing at that time is just try your very best to clean off every single residue, to make sure there is no water mark left on the board. Make sure they are all blow dried out, everything, then only you put it back. That's your very best chance to make it happen. Once I put it on, I just power on the battery, things just go exactly like it is. But what happens is that you will see some reset happen, and then your drone will kind of like give you a lot of bunch of error. I think at the time you just need to personally restart it. After a few restart, you will find out that your drone will behave normal. So basically, after this time experience, what is the moral of the story is that whenever you power up your drone and you are very rushed, don't rush it. Really, don't rush it. Just let it sit still there. Make sure you have more than 9 GPS satellite being locked on. Once you hear home point is updated, then only you fly. No matter how rushed you are, don't do it without getting good GPS lock. Because what will happen, they will just overcompensate and then just crash into the wall. It's happened many times, but this is the first time that it fell into water because of this mistake. Ever since, I just try on to let it fix. Once it fly, let it hover for a while because you want to compensate all the wind resistance. Once you compensate, you are good to fly. But before that, just make sure you do the correct restart of this drone. Then once everything ready, just fly away with courage, because for me is that great content don't come from being too careful. So this video is not powered by DJI, it's not sponsored by DJI, but I really give a good thumbs up because after I opened up the DJI Mavic Air 2, I found out that their design is commendable. So if you like this video, make sure you press the like button so that YouTube will bring you to the next same exact video. So you can also check out my channel and give your support just in case my drone fell into the water again. So if you're still here, thanks for watching the video. You're probably wondering why I'm speaking English, because I got a feedback from my friends is that if I do my video in English, I'm able to reach out for more audience. So what do you think? If you like my video in English, please do comment below and then just let me know. And I will consider doing more content in English other than my Mandarin language. Thank you. Bye.